What's going on, guys? It's Spongy here, and today we're going to discuss the FFAR, or the FMAS as some people have been calling it, why it's been getting so much hype on Twitter, on YouTube, why you're probably seeing some of the biggest streamers in the world like TP at the moment really rocking it. And I'm going to essentially break it down, where its strengths, weaknesses, what's the best class setup to run, kind of what's its limitations in terms of and main ARs. You see a lot of people using it and why I don't think that's the best role that it's suited for. And so let's jump into it. As always, if you enjoy the video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe if you want to find your way back, and let's crack on. So first up, the first point to realise, the first point to really understand is that this gun is not a long-range AR. It's just not. It's not what it's made for. Its recoil pattern, the spread of bullets at range is just way too far apart to make it a viable gun. You're going to get outgunned by pretty much anything. The strength of this gun really lies as a close to mid-range gun. It's a really nice gap to bridge between what an SMG may lack at mid-range, but what a Kilo or a AMAX even might be a little bit too slow, a little bit too clunky at a closer range. That's where the strength of this gun lies. So you're not going to be pairing it with a Mac 10. I've seen quite a few streamers pair it with a Mac 10 and they may be beaming with it, but you've got to remember they play this game for a living. They're playing with a full squad of decked out teammates. They're always going to look good with pretty much any gun they use. From a day-to-day casual player, you're hopping on for a couple of hours each evening with your friends, this probably won't be the class setup for you unless you're all gods. If you want to have a real viable chance of making it to those final circles, do not be pairing it with a Mac 10. Aside from that, they're both too similar. They both have very quick fire rates, very hard hitting at those closer ranges, and I'd argue that in certain aspects the Mac 10 will outgun the FFAR. The recoil's far more manageable on it. So if we actually compare what is the most popular AR and has been for some time, the Kilo, before the WARZONE came along, before people started to make that switch over to the AMAX with the FFAR, both kitted out how I use them personally, and this data does come from TrueGameData, really good website if you're interested in all the stats and stuff. They do a load of testing. I'll leave a link in the description down below. So this is fully kitted out, and I'll show you the loadout that I'm using in a second. You look at it, then the Ffar looks like it's kind of running the show on almost every single aspect. Fire rate, ADS, tactical sprint time's actually the same. The way I've got this set up, the sprint to fire time is a little bit slower. Movement speed is quicker for the Kilo. ADS movement speed quicker for the Kilo. Vertical recoil and horizontal bounce. I've managed to put on the attachments that essentially make it a laser beam, because why wouldn't you? And even with the best attachments that you could find to control the recoil of the FFAR, which is a fair bit, it's still coming nowhere close. And that's not to say that just because it's only reducing the recoil by this amount that it isn't a laser beam. It's not a laser beam, that's not the point. The issue with the FFAR is you have to put so much into increasing the bullet velocity to a point where the bullets you're putting in are doing enough damage at range that you lose some of the scope to control this recoil. And that's where the main issue is the recoil is very manageable. I don't think anyone can deny that. And then if we just keep moving on before I get onto the recoil, bullet velocity, Kilo's actually a little bit faster, it doesn't really feel like that so much. Reload time, FFAR's way quicker, and the mag size, not much difference. I know some people prefer to run the 50 in the Kilo. So if you look at it, the Kilo looks like the better gun at range, and it is. It entirely is. Both these setups are set up for range engagement, so you're talking 30-40 plus meters is the sort of range we're going for, not those closer encounters. And that is why the FFAR just is not viable for those longer range engagements. And the biggest way to show this is to show the recoil patterns. And so you'll see here, I actually have both 15 meters and 30 meters kind of recoil patterns. So not really a massive distance, but you'll see that that extra bit of length on the shot actually gives some real bounce to the gun, some real difficulty controlling the recoil, especially when you have guns that shoot like a laser beam. Even the AMAX, it has quite bouncy, swayy shots, but I'd argue they're far better to control. And so if you look at it, it kind of does this weird like S shape. I think a couple of other guns in Modern Warfare might also do the similar kind of recoil pattern. It's not overly hard to control, but you'll definitely find yourself kind of trigger tapping every now and then just to try and bring that recoil under control. I know a lot of people aren't really a fan of this recoil shape. It takes some getting used to, and I think it's this issue that gives so many people so much trouble controlling it at range. Like, it definitely could be done. and with practice, or if you're just a very, very skilled player, it's pretty easy and it can be deadly. But are most people going to put in that kind of effort? Probably not. And when you switch it over to 30 meters, it's even bigger, and not the recoil pattern hasn't changed one bit. It doesn't change dependent on distance. The issue is that the spread of bullets becomes so wide that you find yourself missing more and more shots. And when the gun fires so rapidly, because that's one of its main benefits, is that you run out of ammo so quick and you've only hit, 20-30% of your shots. That's when it becomes an issue. So it's all well and good looking at how much damage it does, how quickly the bullets travel, the fire rate, but that's depending on whether or not you're going to hit those shots in the first place. And so that's the biggest tell here, is that the recoil just is not manageable or viable enough at range. And so that moves on to what can you pair this gun with. I personally, you'll see in the clips, I'm playing Plunder, just testing it out, and I'm pairing it with a car. Any sniper will do. I prefer the car because it's quite snappy. It's a very, very good option to pair with a sniper. If you're playing solos, maybe if you're playing with your friends and you want to try something else, you don't want to be super sweaty, or maybe you're having a bit more of a chill game, you're not going to be rushing into people, you just want to chill back, hold a power position and snipe, and have that gun in your back pocket in case anybody does sneak up on you. It's a fantastic gun for that. Fantastic for those longer range engagements where the sniper's going to be a bit too risky. Like, you need to hit a certain number of shots, and if you miss that shot with your sniper, you're dead. Fantastic for that sort of range. Not fantastic for day-to-day engagements, the kind of engagements you're going to come across 90% of the time at 40 plus meters. Not fantastic for that. You'll see a lot of people using it at those ranges and getting smoked. Just, it's not worth it. It's a very, very good gun. I think it's a very interesting gun. It's nice to have a gun that is a different type of meta. It gives you options outside of the standard SMG sniper combo, even the M4 sniper combo. And without further ado, I'm going to show you the class that I have been rocking on this, so you can replicate it. Let me know what you think about it in the comments down below, so let's have a look. And so this is the class that I have been rocking in the videos, in the clips you've been seeing. Obviously I have the car set up however you want. And then the actual FFAR, I have the agency suppressor, of course, keeps you off the map. Really, really important. I would say with any Black Ops attachment, any Modern Warfare attachment, to ignore the bars that tell you how much it actually takes off, the accuracy, damage, range, all of that. They're obviously not accurate. They never have been accurate. I'd very much rely on videos and TrueGameData because they test everything themselves and it makes life so much easier. So obviously you can have the agency suppressor, the 21.2-inch Ranger barrel. Avoid this. That's the only thing I'm going to say, is you can use any of these pretty much. Even the Cavalry Lancer will give you a massive boost to your bullet velocity. Do not use the Task Force. It just doesn't do what it says on the tin. It doesn't do anything right as far as I'm concerned. Just avoid it. That's all I'm going to say. There's loads of videos out there about the Task Force, how broken it is. If you do want to go check it out, but I just stay away from it. I personally run the 21.2-inch Ranger just for some extra bullet velocity. And then the Field Agent grip, you could use the Bruiser grip if you feel like you're not moving quick enough. I've never really had that issue, and this is the real chance to improve your recoil control both vertically and horizontally. 50 round fast mag is what I actually use, which is why my ADS time suffers slightly when compared to the Kilo as well. You could use the standard one. I don't really recommend it because you're losing reload quickness and you're still going to be hampered by the ADS time, and 38 just is not enough in Warzone. It's just not a big enough mag. And then finally, I do actually run the Serpent wrap to try and offset the ADS time that you lose a bit. As you can see, the mobility has dropped down, but then the sort of gun you're using, you're not going to be rushing into buildings like you're holding a MAC-10. It is going to be kind of for those short to medium engagements where you're picking off people as they're running towards you rather than chasing people yourself. And that is all there is to it. Definitely pair it with a sniper. At a push, maybe pair it with a really, really long range AR or LMG, maybe the Stoner, I guess. But that really is all there is to it. It's a really fun gun to play with, I have to say that. It's a really, really engaging, fun gun. It makes you want to keep playing the game, which is always a good thing. And I think it'll be interesting to see if the meta stays as open as it currently is. There's so many viable guns now. The DMR has been nerfed a bit, that it's far, far more engaging to play. It's far more interesting to play. I'm having a lot more fun playing, and that is where I'm going to leave it today. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you later.